You're listening to Truly Unruly with Marcus and Jessica Trufant. And what's up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. It is Truly Unruly. My name is Kel, of course, Marcus and Jessica Trufant in his house. And today we have a very, very special guest. We decided, since we're going to talk about the pants off, dance off, aka sexy time, why not bring in a professional? Tiffynee Terry Thomas is a clinical holistic sexologist, relationship, intimacy, and pleasure coach. She works with singles and couples who want to improve themselves and their relationships by setting goals, teaching communication styles, and conflict resolution strategies. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, the one and only Tiffynee Terry Thomas.
Hey,
Ooh, all right.
Hello, Tiffynee. I'm a bit nervous.
I'm excited. I'm excited for
Of
a
course you're
professional
excited. Of course you're
opinion.
excited.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
He's hoping that, that Tiffany's all on his
Silent
side.
victories, right?
Yes, silent victories.
Okay. All right. So let's jump straight into it. First question for you, Tiffynee. And we were kind of talking about this on the side before we started recording, but what is the chasing dynamic and how can it be avoided? Because I feel like the chasing dynamic is something that relates to a conversation that we've had on the podcast before about maintenance sex. So can you kind of elaborate on that for us a little bit?
So it's funny because everybody calls it something different, and some people call it the pursuer and the chaser, the chaser and the runner. But it's really, I don't really want to be bothered with you, and I like you more than you. And so in easier terms, usually it's when one partner is more attracted or more gung-ho about the other partner. And that usually typically happens, and it's so funny, when you lack self-intimacy, because what ends up happening is you forget to start sharing things with each other, and you lose that pizzazz, because a lot of people forget that what's important about your person is discovering new things about them all the time. It's not about the redundancy, oh my God, you like crackers today. Okay. Yeah. It's the new things that spark. You're like, oh, you like doing that? Okay, nasty. You know what I'm saying? And it's those things that kind of get you popping. So that kind of takes you out of the chase dynamic, And if you don't necessarily know yourself, and what happens with couples is they stop being true to oneself. And so then they start pretending to be someone else instead of just being themselves. And then they forget to start sharing the things that they're discovering about themselves. So it's like self-revelation. I just wrote a book about that. And it's like you're discovering things about yourself, but what happens is you hold them close to you instead of sharing them. And so what happens then is that your partner doesn't know you anymore. And so then, like, let's say, for example, Jessica finds out that her butt is popping, And Marcus is like, oh, I'm feeling that. But Jessica's like, no, Negro, I'm not feeling that. Right. And he's like, what's up? And she's like, yo, back off of me. She doesn't necessarily see the value in what he's chasing after. And so it becomes like annoying.
Oh, God,
so
Tiffynee.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I hit on
We just went through this earlier.
No, this is all this is good, but this, I think, in both sides, because it doesn't always have to be the man that's chasing the woman. For both sides, it's about how that person is feeling inside. If I see something in Jess and she doesn't see it herself, then it's hard. Doesn't matter. I mean, it's not going to line up. So I get it.
Right.
I get it. I understand.
And he gets mad.
No, I would say,
or you say, I'm not going to say anything anymore.
No, that's not about sex though, but that's just about me.
That. I'm talking about
and giving you the compliments, because what happens, I give the compliments. Ooh, I like that. That thing is thinging. And it's like, okay, I'm not. And then Jess kind of goes into this negative, oh, I'm this or that, or I need to do this or I need to do that. So I'm like, oh, all right, well, I might as well not even say nothing, right?
Right. Yes. And it's so funny. I'm trying to teach I'm trying to teach everybody. This is something that I'm really passionate about, is relearning and then throwing away stuff about you. Because what happens is, like, if he was to say it about another woman, you'd be like, hold up, whoa, you know what I'm saying? But because he's noticing it on you, now you have to add value to yourself. And what happens in those conversations is he doesn't know that you necessarily might not like those things. And so it's explaining to him why you don't like them things, and then him explaining and you listening to him why he values those things.
Right.
Because it takes one, just like a diamond ring, it takes somebody to say, ooh, that's nice, for it to be really valuable. It has nothing to do with that. It's sitting in the store and it costs $10,000. It only gets the value when somebody says, ooh, that's nice. Yeah. So we have to remember that it's okay that we can start adding value and holding on to it instead of, because we've been torn down a lot as women. So I get it. So it's a lot of like rebuilding, and then it's like, can I keep that? Can I keep that? Or does that belong to me? So it's a tiff.
Tiffany is spit.
Hot
Definitely.
fire.
I'm like, oh God, straight out the gate.
I like it though. This is good.
No,
I'm taking mental notes. So
it
thank you,
is
Tiffany.
good.
So you may have answered my question. I don't know, but like, so how does a married couple like these guys, for instance, that's been married for, you guys, what, 15 years, 16 years, been together?
14 going on 14. But we've been to, our daughter will be 16. Oh God, there's something in my eye. So I think 17 years.
Yeah. So like, how do folks in really long relationships like combat that when it's almost like we've seen everything, pretty much done everything? How do you fight that? Like, how do you combat that?
Well, I've been married for 10 years and my husband's fine as hell. And
there you go.
It's just me appreciating that. It's like I have to, it's returning to the gratitude, right? Jessica's beautiful. And so it's reminding yourself like, yo, this is what I have. And then also, what did I fall in love with? Well, I fell in love with the quirkiness. I fell in love with you taking your eyelashes and putting them behind the bed and acting like I didn't have them on while we were having sex. Like it's stuff like that. It's reminding yourself of those moments and then saying, and then allowing one person to be true to themselves. Because what happens with intimacy is we block it. We think it's just sex or whatever. And there's different levels, there's different subjects and all kinds of stuff. So then we shut the gate on somebody fully being intimate with us because now we put restrictions on what we allow them to tell us about themselves. And then it's like, oh, you're not supposed to be like that. Oh, why do you like that? Or I thought you liked chocolate ice cream. When did you stop liking vanilla? You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, can I change my mind? Can I change and you still love me? Can you still accept me? Can that still turn you on? And if you don't figure out who you are yourself, you forget the things that do turn you on.
That's deep.
Yeah, that's deep. I had a quick question. Hey, Kel, if you don't mind, I got a quick question.
Go ahead, my brother. Go ahead.
Thinking about this. So I'm asking for a friend.
Oh God, right? Tread lightly.
So the difference, just so all us guys that are watching can make sure that we don't blur the lines, because they're already blurred between sex and intimacy. Kind of just separate that for us. And just
you said separate it for you?
Yeah. So just break it down to intimacy versus sex topic.
Well,
right, because everything intimacy is sex.
Yeah. Right. So intimacy is into me, I see. So it's the things that you see in me, right? Sex is something physical. There is sexual intimacy. That is a thing where we connect on certain things. Like, I might want you to pick me up and I might want you to do this. And that's our sexual intimacy. You cannot sustain a relationship on sexual intimacy. So the thing about it is like I told my husband, we were in the Bay a few weeks ago and he had hung out with his dad all day. And his aunt and them had threw me like this luncheon for my book or whatever. It was really sweet. And I hadn't seen him all day. So when we got home, I was like, yo, I like in my mind, I was like, we can have sex, right? But I was like, how was your day? And he's like, man, I'll tell you about that shit tomorrow. And I was like, I haven't seen you all day, and to be honest with you, talking and intimacy kind of gets me wet. So tell me how your day was and you can get these draws. And it was like, he came over, he laid on my lap and he told me his day. And then after he did that, we got it busy, what I'm saying? Because I felt like he filled my cup. And my cup was just trying to be intimate and understand how, he hasn't hung out with his dad and stuff like that. So it's like, what was that like? Tell me about that. Share that with me so you're not holding that inside. And then when you get it out, it's like, oh shit, all right, let's get it popping. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it was. So it's knowing that and then asking your partner, what do you need to be filled? Because a lot of us were guessing. And so that's what that love language thing is about. Yes. It's like, it's finding the love language, and love languages are being bilingual in a language. It's not just finding your language and then saying, okay, I know my love language. I got to be bilingual. I got to be trilingual. So if she's acts of service, when I do something for her, I'm getting something good for me. And if you are physical touch or you are words of affirmation, when she says good things about you, you're like, oh, that's rubbing me in the right way. But if you don't tell your partner that, and then you don't show the gratitude when they do it, it's kind of like it's invisible. So it's important to have that type of communication between each other. And I think that's where the whole sex thing comes from. Sometimes you guys just want to touch us because you want to touch us. We have the mindset, because we've been trained mentally, that when you touch us, that's leading to sex. What we need to understand is foreplay happens at the beginning of the day. It does not happen right before we go into the bedroom.
How many times have I said that?
Yeah, you got to F my mind.
Yeah,
that's
foreplay starts with, how's your day?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I would say a little coaching goes a long way, though. That's what she said. If you communicate and you tell us, right? Okay, no, yes. I get it, but how was your day? And let's.
Yes. I mean, we're pretty good at telling each other, I don't like that. I need more of that.
Mm-hmm. And communication.
Right. Having the intimate conversation.
Yes.
Right. And I hope that people are also telling their partner when they appreciate something, that when they did something well, because that's one thing we will acknowledge when somebody fucks up. We are quick to tell somebody how to load the dishwasher, right? Oh, you need to load it this way. You need to load it this way. But when they do it nice, thank you for doing that. I appreciate that. I saw that. I'm seeing that. It's not that I just see the bad things, because everybody needs to be encouraged. And the more you encourage anyone, the more panties you're going to get.
I was going to say, the more panties drop.
Marcus, you taking notes for both of us? I'm going to need you to email those over, brother.
I'm just enjoying this thoroughly. I am enlightened. I am excited. I am ready for the next class, Miss Tiffynee. So, yes, I am excited about this. This is going well.
So my another question I had for you, Tiffynee, is how do you combat opposite sex drive? So let's say like he wants it a lot more than she does. Does it still fall into the same category as the chasing dynamic, or is this more of a chemical thing?
It depends, and really, it could be a chemical thing. It could be an attraction thing. It can be we haven't really talked about what our sex life looks like, so that's not a conversation we had. Mm-hmm. So, because some people, they'll complain about, oh, he always wants it, but we never even had a conversation of how much do you really want it. Because he might say, I only want it 3 times a week. And you're like, I didn't want to give it every day. And those are 2 different things. And we could have had a conversation. Mm. And so it's really like having a simple conversation, like how much sex do you want? So first we can find a foundation, a baseline. Because why are we arguing about something if we've never even had a conversation on what your expectation is to begin with?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
But what about like, I'm tired and I have 5 kids, or I have babies, or all this kind of stuff. For me, sometimes it's really hard to get out of my own head. And so all of those outside factors and influence, it takes a toll sometimes, and it plays a part in, I'm just tired. I'm mentally exhausted. And when I feel a tap, 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 I'm like, I just want to go to sleep.
That's okay. That's okay.
There are.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, but that's fair. And that's life. So
it's life.
I've grown.
It's not all the time.
I know. Yeah. No.
But there are.
I don't want to make it seem like that. But
yeah. Hell yeah. I'm tired.
That is the life piece. Yeah. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's always on like that. That's fantasy.
You're pretty perfect, actually.
Thank you. But I'm not. But thanks, Mama. I so do appreciate that. No, but I'm saying no. So guys get this thing in their head from, learning about sex from their friends or from porn or whatever. I was going to say
watching
of what it's supposed to look like. So
Uncut.
Every day it's supposed to be on and we just supposed to go all night and stuff like that. That's not real life. So you got to grow in your maturity and kind of get through this thing. And so I'm here for it.
I think it's all about communication.
But is asking for sex 4 times a week, is that a lot?
For some people, it might be.
It might be for some people, but here's the problem. And I actually teach this. I teach this class called Keys to Kinky for women. And it's because we have been taught the pleasure versus reward system from our mothers. And so when you go into thinking that sex is a reward, that you're giving it to a reward instead of understanding that it's a pleasure for you. And what happens is that usually gets like that when we don't have intimate conversations about what pleases me and what actually gets me going. Because I told my husband, I was like, 1 CM'er, that's a coochie massage, a reach over, and you do that. I'm ready, but when I got to do the work and when I got to do all this and stuff like that, I'm not necessarily always engaged to do that if I'm tired, right?
Right.
So it's having those conversations like, well, what can I do when you're tired? Like, is there something that I could do that really gets you in the mood? Because honestly, when sex gets you going, tiredness then disappears.
It does.
And so it's a mindset, but knowing, and Marcus, you're clapping your hands, but here's what's so funny. Knowing that, like, if you come up to Jessica and you're like, hey, do you need anything? Do you need me to grab you anything? And and then you come in, you bring her something and she's like, oh my God. Okay, thanks. And then you give her a CM, you might be getting some versus you come in the room and be like, yo, can we get it popping? It's like, no, Negro, I don't want to do anything with you. You like,
that's fair. That's fair.
Haha, Shazam.
Yeah, that's fair.
Not so much anymore.
Yeah.
But that was
communication
that was growth, it. So. And also, like, women, like, we were raised, really Americans in general, we don't really talk about sex and sexuality, and specifically the expectations that are put on girls from a young age to be Virgin Marys. I can say personally, I was a bit uncomfortable with sexuality. And I know that's kind of hard to believe, but true. Because of how I was raised and being raised Catholic and being told that sex is pretty much dirty.
Catholic guilt.
Right. And, forbidden and you'll go to hell and stuff like that. And those kinds of things stay with girls. So I think that plays a factor.
Right. You're right. My biggest thing is now teaching people, God created sex.
He sure did.
Man, yeah.
That he created. So the fact and the reason why and it's so funny because people get so tight when they hear the stipulations on it. Like, you should be married. You should They don't understand that sex comes with a powerful weapon. It comes with something that if you give it to anybody, you know what I'm saying? You're leaving pieces of yourself with everybody, and now you have to go find those pieces. So now you're on a Where's Waldo search.
And by the way, Tiffany, if you have more of these just acronyms, can you just please lay them on us?
I know.
The CM one,
the CM.
I'm about to put that on a shirt. I'm gonna put that on a shirt, Kale.
Yeah,
next.
For real though. Like, put that on a shirt or a hat. Like, that needs to be on some merch because
something.
Like, I love that.
But I said it first.
CM.
Do you want a
CM,
CM?
Marcus?
Oh, you just wait. I got a lot.
just start just texting your lady, just CM.
Right.
Oh, it's so good.
Commercials. Do you need a CM? Are you feeling like? Okay, go ahead.
So then, is there such thing, Tiffany, as like a normal sex drive, or is that just whatever is in the eye of the beholder?
You know what's so funny? I think about the word normal is we use that, but none of us are normal. Normal is a standard. And so if we created a standard that's normal for us, and so it really just depends on what your attraction level is and what appeases you and what pleases you. Right. And so, like, pointing out there are people with higher sex drives than others, and there's people that with low sex drives, but it's also the fact that you might lack more knowledge about yourself than another person. One other person might be like, oh my God, or they might not understand of what their body does. Right. Gotcha. And so there's some men that think, like, for example, when you hear love language, there's a lot of men that's like, my love language is physical touch. It's not. You just think that because
I'm kidding.
It's not necessarily.
No, it's not always that though. And I
know.
Yeah. Well,
I have grown to learn that it's not that.
But I thought it was. Guys get a bad rap. I'll just say it that all we want is sex and all we want is this. And we do. That's true. But we want the other things too. We want the words. We want we want our ladies to talk nice to us and say some good stuff to us from time to time, just to kind of mix it up. And you know what I'm saying? And that's okay. Right. Guys get a bad rap. Oh, it's always on the guy and we got to do all this stuff just to get the ladies nice and ready. But it goes both ways as far as I'm concerned.
It sure does. Yeah. It sure does. And I actually go hard on the ladies because I feel like I've been there before. So I wrote a book and it's called Sis, Is It You? Like, is it you? Because it's frustrating to watch us women put a lot of the weight on you guys when we control a lot of what the weight is. And now it's like, okay, what can we fix about ourselves? Because like I tell people that the cheat code to the relationship is fixing yourself. Because once you fix yourself, when you ask somebody, well, what can I do to do better? And if they don't have anything to say, then it's mirror, look at yourself. And to me, that's what I've been focusing on. Like, how can I fix me to be a betterment of this relationship? And then also be impactful to my legacy, because I see people sending their kids out and our kids are watching us. So then they're going to get in relationship with other people's kids and fuck them up. Like, I don't want to be a part of that.
Break the cycle. 100%.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's real. How do you, and I guess this is another, like, I guess, long, I don't know. I like using Marcus and Jessica as an example because they've just been together for such a long time. But how do you, like, try to bring new things into the bedroom without making it seem awkward?
Yes.
That is so funny. Hilariously, it goes back to the self-intimacy thing. If you're uncomfortable with yourself, there's a couple things that happen. You're uncomfortable and you're insecure, because insecurity will then be like, well, where'd you get that from? Who'd you do that with? Why'd you bring that up? And it's like, what? And if Becky did suck my dick the best, can you do it second best? Because I'm not with her. Like, it's making sure of, like, taking yourself out of the competitiveness and putting yourself in the competition of, I am the winner of this all, so now I have to just master what I do.
Yeah.
This is too good, man. I don't know what to do right now. This is this is too good.
I just love how she used Becky. Wow. I was like, ooh, Becky.
No, but I get that though.
I do get that. And I never thought about, like, the insecure part, like, who'd you do that with and all that kind of stuff. That is real.
Yeah. Maybe that's early in the relationship, though. I would think.
I don't know.
That it might not be though, right?
It creeps up because if you don't deal with insecurity, you bury it in your soil. right? And anything you bury in your soil is going to grow. So whether it's a weed or a flower, if you didn't pull it, it's there. And so whenever you bring up, the back of that question is who is this attached to? Where does this idea come from? Because one thing we don't do as a society is give credit for innovation.
Very true. Very true.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I can be inspired by something, but well, you stole that? Where'd you get that from? And it's like, what? Even if I was watching porn and I wanted to do that with you, he looked like it felt good. Can I do that?
I mean, it's new for us.
So,
For us, it's new for us and our thing. So that should be good.
Right. I think you just do it. Introducing different things. I just think you just do it.
Yeah. And then the surprise.
Then
it's like, oh, okay.
Right. And you have to have a partner that's open and all that kind of stuff. But no. Totally.
I mean, sometimes it takes work though.
Yeah, because I could totally see like in a relationship, like something you've never done, and then all of a sudden, like you're 10 years in or whatever, and you're like, hey, I want to da 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 da. And they just look at you like, you ain't done. Why do you want to do that? Like, and then you feel weird because you're like, well, now I don't want to even ask to try new things because I feel like I'm going to be judged for it.
And you know, it's so funny. When something like that happens, I wish more couples went back to, and then and I always tell couples to stop making statements and ask questions. Am I not allowed to ask to try new things? Because if I'm not, I won't. Because then that puts it back on the other person to be like, well, then what did I say that limited me to not be able to say a new thing? Because if you've never tried it, it's new.
Jess, am I allowed to do this? Am I allowed to try this? That's pretty heavy. Yeah.
So is it almost like kind of like asking your partner like, well, what's your limits? Like what's I
guess boundaries, right? Is it boundaries?
There's
what's the boundaries?
You know what?
Well, because I feel like if you've been with somebody for, let's say 5-10 years, you know, like you almost need to would you agree, Tiffany, like kind of have that conversation all over again, like almost reintroduce?
Yeah, and I think the problem is that we're having that conversation too stretched out from each other.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? This is somebody I'm with every day. Like, I should be checking in with you. When we have a new kid, we should be refinancing our relationship. We should be figuring out what needs to stay, what needs to go, and things like that. We need to refinance our sexual relationship. If I just had a hysterectomy, and I'm not able to do something, are you sucking my dick for the next 2 weeks or am I jacking off? Like, that's a conversation that
Shit.
Yeah, make sure I get that.
I'm done with him.
I mean,
finished with you.
It's one of those things where you just have to. We get so afraid of just having simple conversations with our partner when these are the things that we used to. I stayed on the phone for 3 hours and we fell asleep. What were you guys talking about? Things like that.
So true.
And now, because of the years on the relationship, we can't have those conversations no more. No.
Right.
What do you think that is, Tiffany? Is because like I've always said this is that like the first, I feel like 6 to 10 months when someone's in a relationship, they're essentially wearing a mask, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And then finally, like when, okay, I'm comfortable, I can take the mask off and be who I really am. And then you try to have that conversation. It's like, whoa, wait, hold on. Like in the beginning, you seem so all about this. And now I see who you really are. And you're just like, ew, no, why would I do that?
I will say every marriage, and you guys can tell me if you guys experience this, at some point in your marriage, you're like, you tricked me. You tricked me. This is not the person I signed up for. You tricked me.
Marcus with his clean refrigerator. I do not forget. I remember.
I ain't seen it since, but I'm joking. I know. I'm just doing it for the show.
Do you want sex later?
You start to what I feel like is you start to question things, but really it's your own inability to recognize who you've changed into, because now you've put this expectation on your relationship based on things that you've seen. Because all our relationships are new. So now you like, and then it's like, you got to ask your partner, where did you see this at? Well, who are you modeling us after? You You know, where did this weight come from? Where did this rule come from? Because we never discuss it. And I think we have a lot of undiscussed rules in our relationship, undiscussed boundaries that you're like, I didn't even know that exists. And how are you mad at me? You know, and then we have a lot of people that have so much undealt with trauma that people don't even want to tap into the things that are causing boundary issues in a relationship.
I see you two keep looking over at each other.
No, I'm just saying no, because a lot of this this is good stuff. And I'm just saying that this is relationship stuff. And it sounds like to me that it's really about the communication. And okay, if you could tell your partner, okay, I want to bring out this new stuff. And maybe it's not that I'm modeling after something else, but I'm doing this because I love you and I'm with you, but I'm a little bit uncomfortable with it. And that's okay type of conversation, and those are the type of conversations we should be having.
Right.
And you have to remind yourself that it's kind of like when two people get together, right? It's like two chemicals. It's like you putting red dye into a bottle of water. The water now becomes different. If you put sugar into water, it's sugar water. The water no longer goes from being flavorless. It now has flavor. That's the same thing with a couple and two people in a relationship. We're going to be transformed into something. And what God wants is us to be transformed into one so we can glorify that. So there's a lot of things that we get mixed up, and I think the way we've been taught to come into relationships has been all ass wrong.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And now because I've seen you've brought up self-intimacy a lot, and that being very, very like important in a relationship, and I guess just being an individual with self-intimacy. So is it like, all right, well, I like to jerk it off this way instead of that way.
Oh God.
And self-intimacy is about yourself and discovering yourself. And it's about the good, the bad, and the ugly. And what we tend to do is emphasize the good, excuse the bad, and ignore the ugly. Mm-hmm. And so it's always like the things that, you know, for example, like you said, you might not want to tell somebody that you even masturbate. There's people that won't even share that. And then when I'm in the bathroom too long, hey, what are you doing in there? Like, well, hey, buddy, you know, I didn't tell you that I like to take one off, you know, to take a nap or something. And it's like, it's okay to share that, you know, and
nothing wrong with rubbing one out.
There's nothing wrong with that. But even as a woman, when you get caught doing that, you feel shame. Like my husband has walked in mid-masturbation. I'm like, oh! And it's like, it's free. Like, you're like,
your foot on the door.
How dare you catch me?
Right. But like, I don't know, this might be weird, but as a woman, I don't know. I get kind of jealous of that. Why are you doing that when I'm right here?
Like, but we're thirsty if we're asking too much, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's like this dance. Oh, don't be on me, but if you're not on me, why not? Type of thing.
Jess is not the first woman I have actually heard say that. Is that it?
Like, what are you doing?
It makes sense, though. I get it in theory. It makes sense, but if you're tired, right, and you got the 5 kids and you got the headache, then hey, well, yeah,
like if she's not putting out and I'm feeling backed up, I'm gonna go do what I need to go do in the shower.
Yeah,
like I'm not gonna. So I'm supposed to wait until she finally like comes around and is like, all right, we can do it now. It's
or
like,
you could punish yourself and save it, Kale. Just save it. Just just get angry.
Yeah, don't do that. Get it out. I would say the jealousy factor comes from the fact that you know how to do it so well and they don't. And so what happens is that this is a self-intimacy thing where as a partner, you should be watching your man jack off. You should see the type of pressure and the type of things that he does to his own member so you understand what it looks like.
I'm just going to exit stage left.
We need this on the show every week. Are you available next week?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Jess, are you clutching your pearls if you had them on?
If I had some fucking pearls on, I'd be clutching those bitches.
And you know, it's funny because I think where we forget is that a woman, you know, it's natural to be jealous. Men are jealous of women masturbating because they can't do that. They don't have the vibration of that to go consistent and strong like that. But it's paying attention to the body. I teach a master mouth class and a orgasm class for, women and squirting and stuff like that. And it's like
master mouth.
What?
Can you send that link later? Can you send us that link?
You're a little too into this. You're a little too invested
Wait a minute.
in this entire conversation.
This is my into me. I'm trying to do this for us, though. I'm making sure that,
This is for us, baby.
Right. Yeah. This for both of us.
This is for us.
It's actually, it's hilarious because I will say, just being married for 10 years, I've been more aware of what my husband needs and then him vice versa, because then it eliminates that you're not doing something for me. And then you also get the quality over quantity. So then instead of having sex 4 times a week, we're having sex twice a week. But when we have sex, it's for 2.5 hours. And it's like, it's amazing. And you know what I'm saying? It's this experience. And you're like, oh, thank you. You know what I'm saying? And so you have to look at those types of things and make it make sense. Because like Jessica said, I have 5 kids. So does it make sense to give you a quickie, or does it make sense to give you something where I'm fully in it? And sometimes a quickie is necessary. And I think people forget the essence of a quickie. A quickie is knowing one's body and being able to master it and have them both ejaculate so you guys can be done. Mm-hmm. That's the essence of a quickie. Mm. If you cannot do that, then you are missing the mark. And really what it does is just spark some, intensity in you. Like, oh my God, we can do this. Okay, I'm going to clench real tight and I'm going to da-da-da-da. And now we got it and we're about our business. And some people get caught up with either doing those a lot or don't do it a little until it misses the mystery of relationships.
Did you say have sex for 2.5 hours?
Just like in the movies.
I'm like, did you? Shit. How does one do that?
So you start your watch, right? And then you
you don't even, it's so funny when you start to learn one another, you're not even worried about the time. You'll look up because you guys are pleasuring yourself so much. And it's not necessarily like, oh, are you done? It's like, it's in the midst of, because I'll give you a perfect example. In the midst of him on top of you, if you said, get up, let me put my mouth on it really quick, you're now disrupting the mood and you're now doing something different and changing something. Now you're adding a different dynamic and increasing the time. Because the other thing is what we have to understand is when a man goes into his refractory period, depending on how long his refractory period is, he might be done after that. But every man and woman should not, their goal should not to be to come. It should be to enjoy the experience. Mm-hmm.
I know that's right. Hop off it and talk about, Daddy, let me clean it off.
I know that's right.
Yeah.
But I agree.
Yeah. This is awesome, by the way. I just want to say that out loud. That this
one more time.
This show has been going great, and I'm really just enjoying the dialogue, the back and forth.
In my head, I'm like, okay.
Don't put that pressure on yourself, sis.
Okay.
Don't do that. I'm just like I said. I'm trying to learn for both of us. I'm trying to learn for both of us. But don't put the pressure on me like that. Don't do me like that. Right. Don't. I'm here.
But it goes both ways.
Right.
So
let me ask a question, and this is actually really good. What in this moment? What are you guys both feeling like? Because it's like, to me, you guys are both getting good information that she's saying, hey, quality over quantity. And you don't have to ask me every day. And you're saying, hey, figure out what I like. And then we can actually master it. So it's a win-win for you both. So it should even, it's more of like, when we get off this phone, we're about to do something different and better for us.
For me, I'm like okay, this is information. So this gives us
it's good. It's food for thought. I'm like, okay.
It gives us a reason to try new things and explore and kind of play around a little bit, have fun, and do some different stuff, maybe.
You know what's so funny about new stuff, though? Let me just make this
Or not
clear.
new, but
what else do you want to try?
Right. There's
just
a lot
stuff.
of things that Right. There's a lot of things that you can try, but I think one of the biggest things that actually turn people on is knowing how you felt after we tried it. it's like, what did that feel like talking about that experience? So then it's like, if you didn't like it, or you did love it or whatever. And I think even if you talked about sex afterwards, it would be more of an experience. You're like, how was that for you? Oh my God, you did that thing tonight. Oh, and we don't necessarily do that. We just go to bed.
We actually do that. We do. We do.
That's
we talk
good.
to, we ask each other. Yeah, we do. Okay, this is getting really awkward.
Is it like a post nut clarity conversation?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Right on. It is.
Very helpful.
Really enjoy those conversations. As a matter of fact, though. Yeah,
right. He does. Really He's like, okay, tell me more. What could I have done? Okay, so when we were in this part,
I like when you talk nice to me. I like it. I like when you talk nice.
He loves it.
I love that.
It.
Yeah, that's kind of
I love that.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
This is great. Tiffynee Terry Thomas, she's a clinical, holistic sexologist and relationship and intimacy pleasure coach. Tiffynee, where can folks find you, and tell folks also where they can find your books?
So you can get my books on my website, either friskyfemme.com, that's my apparel company, or tiffany.com, or sisisatyou.com. You can find me at Tiffynee Renee. My name is spelled differently, Tiffynee. My mom had to be different. Tiffynee Renee at Instagram. I'm Tiffynee Terry Thomas on YouTube, on Facebook. So yeah, just definitely that. And I post a lot of clips and stuff of me talking and just educating people on my page. So if you just go check it out and things.
Yes.
And you have courses also, right?
Yes. Yeah. And I did my master mouth and my splish splash orgasm class last year. I'll be launching Vulvember, which is all about the vulva.
Vulvember, yes.
Vulvember. This is Vulvalin.
Do you get guys to sign up for these, or is it just for the women? I don't want to be the only guy that's in the class.
I would love guys to sign up. I would love guys, and honestly,
I gotta get a group of guys to come with me. Yeah. All right.
Yes.
I think that would be really cool.
That would be dope.
And for women.
Really cool. Yes. I actually do workshops called Calling All Lovers for marriage enrichment and relationship enrichment, where we teach things, and then it's interactive. So you're playing games as I'm teaching and talking about different things.
Well, this was a great episode. Tiffynee, thank you so much for joining us. And for sure, we're definitely going to have you back on.
Yes, thank you so much, Tiffynee.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
This was great.
Truly Unruly, Marcus Trufant, Jessica Trufant. My name is Kel. You can follow us all on social media, Marcus_Trufant on IG, Jessica _Trufant, and I am media_Kels. Of course, follow the page, Truly Unruly _podcast. And of course, you can listen to us on all streaming platforms, Apple, Spotify, you name it, we're on it. And if you want to catch the visual, you can watch us, of course. Just search Truly Unruly Podcast on YouTube and subscribe to Marcus Trufant's YouTube channel so you don't miss out on any of the episodes and clips. And of course, every Sunday night, catch us on the Converge Network. Shout out to Omari and his team over there. And shout out to everybody over at Fox Soul. Did I miss anything, you guys?
I think that's it, Kale. Good job, Kale. Awesome.
All right. Well, till next time, y'all. We appreciate it, and peace and love.